How to make a restaurant quality meal at home in under 30 minutes. Hi, my name's Christina. I'm with eatingonadime.com. Welcome to my kitchen today. Usually we're in my sister Carrie's kitchen, but today I'm at home cooking this delicious meal for my family tonight, and I wanted to show you guys how easy it is to make at home. We are making Copycat Olive Garden shrimp scampi. Let me know in the comments below if you've ever had the shrimp scampi from Olive Garden. It is amazing if you haven't had it. If you haven't, don't worry. I'm going to show you how to make it at home for less money and of course under 30 minutes. I have linked the full recipe in the description below, so you don't have to write anything down or any of that. You can just go there, find the printable recipe, all of our tips, tricks, nutritional information, and all of that. Also, we love making copycats. We love making your restaurant quality foods at home to save money. And we love it so much. Of course, we have a digital cookbook. That's linked in the description below, as well as all the utensils I'll be using today. So first thing we want to do is get all of our veggies ready. This is truly a skillet meal, so it goes pretty quick once you're at your skillet and cooking it. So our number one tip is to get everything ready. Actually, I take that back. Your first thing you want to do is cook some angel hair pasta to al dente based on the package instructions. You want about a pound, which is 16 ounces. Now, I like using angel hair, but you can use fettuccine, you can use spaghetti noodles, or you can really use any kind of pasta that you have on hand for this recipe, and it's still going to taste great. So first, we're going to cook the pound of angel hair pasta to al dente based on the package instructions. We're just going to let this cook in. Try not to break it. It will soften and fall into the pot as it cooks. And while this is cooking, we are going to go ahead and get our veggies ready. So our pasta is cooking, so we're going to go ahead and get the veggies ready. First, see if I can juggle veggies here. You need a half an onion, a tomato, and some asparagus. You need about 8 or 10. I'm doing 10 because I want extra asparagus. You can use whatever you would like. First, let's do our onion. We're just going to do a half an onion for this recipe, and you want it sliced. A true scampi has like soft slices of onions in it. Not quite caramelized, but truly soft. And so does Olive Garden. So we're going to put a little onions in there. If your family is sensitive to onions, you could leave it out. But to get that true scampi flavor, we want to add them in. So we have our nice half, and I'm just going to do thin slices on this onion. Now, if you guys have been following us for a while, Carrie and I swear by this knife. All-time favorite knife. You only need one knife in the kitchen, and this is it. Don't buy those sets. Don't do any of that. Just get this knife. So just break the onion slices into rings, and I'm just putting it on a plate just for the video's sake. When you're making this at home, you guys can take it straight to the pan and get it to cooking. I just want to show you guys how to get all these veggies ready first, and then we'll get to cooking. Uh-oh, there's our pasta. Okay, I'm going to take a quick break and drain that pasta. The pasta's done. I'm going to go ahead and just strain it. Ooh, it's getting foggy. And let it cool just slightly before we add it to our shrimp. Back to veggie chopping. Now let's do the asparagus. So when cooking with asparagus, here is your asparagus stalk. You do not want this bottom part because it's kind of tough and it doesn't taste great. So to know what part you want to keep and what part you don't, you just want to bend it, and where it breaks naturally, you want to keep this part and discard this part. I always like to do a couple of these all the time. I call them snapping the asparagus. I don't know if that is like the chef term for that or not, but you just want to let them break. If you're doing a bunch, you can take one and break it and then eyeball it and then cut the rest off. And you're probably going to be close enough to where it's going to taste great. Since I'm just doing a little bit, I'm just going to go hand snap them all. Okay, once you've removed the tough ends, then you want to cut your asparagus into about 2-inch pieces. So for these, I'm just going to cut them into thirds, just so it's really easy to cook in our pasta and it tastes great as well. Who saw Rio in that last shot? If you guys have been following us for a while, you know that Carrie and I have sibling dogs, Rosie and Rio. Rio's mine, so you might have saw him that last shot. He's always nosy when we're in the kitchen wanting to know what we're going to do. Okay, next is a tomato. So you want one whole tomato for this recipe. It gets added at the end. Again, you're going to get that true Scampi flavor. I dice the tomatoes into quarters, and then you want to de-seed them. So I like to just kind of cut the seeds out from the quarters just as carefully as possible, because the seeds are really going to make it watery. You really just want that outer part of the tomato, and then we're going to dice it up into small pieces. Once you get all the seeds removed, you just want to slice each remaining of the quarter into small bite-sized pieces, again, because it's going to go into the pasta, so you want it to be easy to eat. I like them, I'm going to say they're about like a ½ inch big, and that's what I prefer. Okay, so I wanted to show you guys one close up. I just kind of press it flat to be easy to cut, and then just dice it from there. You want to keep doing that until they're all ready. Okay, make sure you guys check out my cute little supervisor down here. He supervises and he's the cleanup crew. All of our veggies are ready, so now it's time to start cooking. So let's head over to the stovetop, blah, blah, blah. Let's head over to the stovetop and get this shrimp cooking. Welcome to my stovetop. Okay, so for this recipe, you want a large pan that's kind of deep. It can be a big skillet. I didn't have a skillet big enough, so I'm using this larger pot. And heat 1 tablespoon olive oil over medium-high heat. Once the oil is heated through, add in those sliced onions, and we're going to saute these for a few minutes until they're soft. Just cook the onions for a few minutes, and then add in 2 tablespoons minced garlic. Now I'm using pre-minced garlic today, but you can definitely mince your own. If you choose to mince your own, I would do 6 to 7 cloves minced, because this is a very garlicky, delicious dish. Now let this cook for just a minute or two until you can start to smell that garlic. I wish you guys could smell over the video. It's already smelling amazing, those onions and the garlic. Now add in 4 tablespoons butter, a ½ cup of either dry white wine, or you can use white cooking wine, which is what I'm using today. And then 1/4 teaspoon of red pepper flakes. This does give it just a little bit of kick, and it's not too much. Now we're going to let that cook for 2 to 3 minutes. Now we're going to add in the shrimp. So you want raw, deveined, peeled shrimp. It can be tails on or tails removed. I'm using tails removed just because I think it's easier to serve. And then add your asparagus pieces to the pan as well. Season that with a ½ teaspoon of salt and a ½ teaspoon of pepper. Mine are combined. You just want to season all of that with that mixture. And then we're going to saute this for a few minutes until the shrimp is cooked through. So shrimp cooks quickly on heat on the stove top. It's only going to take 2 to 3 minutes. What you're looking for is it'll start changing pink like this, and I'll show you guys up close. So most of the time, people that don't like shrimp, it's generally because it's overcooked and it gets tough. So we're just going to watch it closely to make sure it's just done to the perfect amount. And we want that asparagus to just be tender. Oh, there's my supervisor barking. Let me know if you guys can hear him in the distance there. Okay, so I just want to show you up close. So see how this shrimp right here is still a little gray on the sides and partially pink through. So you want it to be all the way pink like this one. That's how you know it's done. So these are almost done, but not quite. This one has a little gray left on it. That has a little gray. So you want all the shrimp to be pink on both sides, and that's how you know that it's cooked through. Once the shrimp is all the way cooked through, go ahead and toss in your pasta. and add in the diced tomatoes. And you just want, I'm going to go ahead and turn the heat off. I don't want it to overcook. And I find it's best to use tongs on this step to get that pasta tossed in with the shrimp and with the sauce. Once it's all tossed in, that pasta will soak up that white wine butter sauce. Ooh, and then it's ready to serve. And that's really it. Shrimp scampi in under 30 minutes. And now it's ready to serve. When I serve this, I like to top it with a little parsley just to be a little fancy. And then, of course, Parmesan cheese. Now, I'm using this freshly shaved out of a little jar. You can shave your own, whatever you would like. You do you. I think it really elevates it. But my favorite thing about this meal is it truly is a one-pot meal. You have pasta, you have shrimp, you have veggies. You don't really need anything else. And like, unless you're like my family, my husband was like, are we having garlic bread? So we're going to have some garlic bread too. But you don't really need anything else to feed your family. And it's so fancy. Time for my favorite part. Taste testing. Okay, let me get a little pasta. Let me get a little shrimp. This might be a big bite, but I can't wait. Ooh. I like to use the big shrimp. I think they taste better. I don't know why, but that's just my personal preference. So it is going to be a big bite. Let's. It was amazing, but it was a big bite, so I had to cut it. It's so good. I'm going in for one more. I love the garlic. I love the red pepper flakes. Everything about it is a 10 out of 10. If you love shrimp, you got to try this recipe. All right, friends, that's it. Thank you guys so much for joining me today in my kitchen. I hope I inspired you to make a delicious fancy meal at home in under 30 minutes and instead of going out to dinner. Don't forget to like and subscribe so you don't miss any more of our easy family-friendly recipes that you can make at home. We learned that like 90% of you guys are not subscribed. So let's fix that and subscribe away so that you get notified every time we have a new video. Okay, I'm out of here. It's officially dinner time. I will see you guys next time, either here or in my kitchen or in my sister Carrie's kitchen. And until then, don't forget, eat at home by eating on a dime. Bye, friends. I'll see you guys next time.